As the Allies made plans of their own in mainland Europe, it must have seemed that the Emperor's attention was diverted elsewhere. But Napoleon's Grande Armée had used its time on the Channel coast to rest and retrain. It could, and would, now be employed to devastating effect. Intelligence reports had reached Napoleon at Boulogne that the coalition planned an ambitious multi-pronged attack. A force made up of British, Russian and Swedish troops would attack Hanover from the north. An Austrian army, under General Mack, would invade Bavaria, supported by a large Russian contingent. Another Austrian army was to strike towards Lombardy from northern Italy, whilst a force under Archduke John of Austria attacked the Tyrol. In the south, a mixed nationality force would launch an assault on Naples. Napoleon, with the Grande Armée at its fighting peak, preempted the coalition's plans by making a swift and decisive move against General Mack in Bavaria. He would remove Mack from the game even before his Russian support had arrived. The Allies, lacking Napoleon's intelligence network, believed wrongly that he would strike first in Italy. They were completely unprepared. Once more, the little corporal descended like a thunderbolt. Once more, the Austrians reeled before him.
It's hard to imagine moving tens and tens of thousands of soldiers all the way from the French coastline into Germany in secrecy. But he, to a very large extent, accomplished that. He also accomplished it in an incredibly short period of time, a mere matter of weeks. Now, the first Austrian force he encountered was at Ulm, under the command of General Mack. General Mack had not a clue that Napoleon was about to encircle him. He almost literally wakes up one morning and discovers that the French have him surrounded.
So as Mack realises that his lines of communication are finally being severed by Napoleon's movements to La Derrière, apart from a fleeing cavalry force under the Archduke Ferdinand, Mack realises the game is up, and with his 25,000 men he surrenders to Napoleon, presenting himself as the unfortunate General Mack. And then Napoleon does take great glee in returning his sword and sending him back to the Emperor of Austria with the news of his own demise.
The manoeuvre around the rear of the Austrian force at Ulm in 1805 was a masterpiece of planning and reflects nothing but glory on the Grande Armée from Napoleon through Berthier and the General Staff all the way down to the guys who were trudging along the roads. It was a masterpiece. Its importance lay not in taking the city of Ulm, which is in a position very difficult to defend anyway, but its importance lay in the capture of the unfortunate General Mack, 25,000 Austrians, the demoralization which pervaded the entire Austrian army after this debacle, and the moral ascendancy that he won over his Austrian and Russian foes when he went forward to fight them again at Austerlitz.